Good evening and welcome to the November 10th, 2020 meeting of the Westfield, Washington Township Board of Zoning Appeals. If we could note the presence of a quorum, please.
Ms. Fortier.
Here.
Mr. Kingshill.
Here.
Mr. Schmitz.
Here.
Mr. McCarty.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Just for point of order, our president, Dave Schmitz, is present virtually, and since he's not in the room, I, as vice president, will run the meeting tonight. So that's why I'm presiding. Approval of the minutes from the October 13, 2020 meeting. We have been presented those minutes and had an opportunity to review them. Any questions or comments from the board?
This is Janine. I have one comment. I think there was just one typo at the very last page for 2010 VS 33. It says Kings Hill second, motion passed, vote 40-0. So I think that should be 4-2-0. So just wanted to make that aware.
40. Thank you. Also, if we could go up to the first item on the minutes. We had a motion to reconsider the matter, which was the Davis matter, 2009 VS 25. So the first motion was the motion to consider, that's correct. But thereafter, on all of the motions, the minutes say motion to reconsider and to approve. And we need to delete the reconsider portion of the other three times. Am I being clear? So on the actual motions, there were, or the three items, it says motion to reconsider. That one there, or Kingsville motion to reconsider the motion denied, that's correct. But if we go down to the McCarty motion to reconsider and approve, that's incorrect. It should be McCarty motioned to approve.
Okay.
And there's three instances of that.
Only the first one was reconsidered.
Yeah, only that first one was to reconsider. All right, any other comments or otherwise I'd entertain a motion to approve. Hearing none, I'll make the motion to approve. Move to approve the minutes from the October 13, 2020 meeting as amended here tonight.
Second. Second.
All right, we've got a motion by myself and a second by Mr. McCarty. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same
Aye.
sign. And the motion is approved. Moving on to the next item, approval of the 2021 BZA schedule of meetings and filing dates. We've had the next year's schedule presented to us. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, I entertain a motion to approve.
Oh,
Janine, did you have it?
Yes, I have just a comment. Sometimes we have to move out 1 week because of a holiday, and it looks like there's nothing that has been changed this year, so it'll be on its regular rotation. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, great. Thank you. Then I make a motion that this, the 2021 schedule of meetings and filing dates be approved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All right, I got a motion by Janine Fortier and a second by Dave Schmitz to approve the 2021 BZA schedule of meetings and filing dates. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, thank you. The motion carries. All right, if we could review the rules and procedures, please.
It's due to the COVID-19 emergency as declared by the Governor of Indiana. The format and conduct of the meeting has been modified to comply with executive orders regarding the conduct of public meetings, public hearings, and public gatherings. Relevant portion of the Indiana open door law have been amended or suspended during the pendency of the emergency. For items requiring a public hearing, which are all the items tonight, the meeting has the following structure. The department will summarize the petition, then the petition will be given up to 15 minutes to present to the board. The president will open a public hearing. Individuals will be given 3 minutes to speak. The public hearing will be closed when all interested members of the audience have had a chance to be heard, and all emails received during the meeting have been provided to board members. The petitioner will then have a chance to respond to comments, and the board will follow with any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the petition. The rules of conduct this evening: please do not disrupt the proceedings in any way. If you need to have a private discussion, we ask that you please quietly exit the room. Please silence your devices at this time, and if you must answer them, please quietly exit the room. If you are attending in person and wish to speak in regard to a petition scheduled for a public hearing, please come up to the front and fill out the docket number and your name and address on this sheet over here. And once the public hearing is opened by the president, please provide us, we will end up putting your name and address on a card after this evening. During your comments, please state your name and address into the microphone for the record, and we ask that you not repeat previously stated comments. Your presentation will be timed, and you will be advised when there's approximately 30 seconds remaining. If you are not attending in person, comments regarding a petition should be emailed to planners@westfield.in.gov with the petition name or number included in the subject line. Those comments will be forwarded to the board members and the petitioner. We would like to remind everyone to please speak directly into the microphone so your comments can be put onto the record. Also, please mute the microphone when not speaking. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving on to items of business. First item, 2011-VS-34, 2753 Maple Creek Drive. Mr. Harris.
Good evening, members of the board. For the record, I am Corey Harris, Community Development Department. The item before you is variance to development standard that requests to allow rear yard encroachment of a swimming pool by 8 feet into the 30-foot setback. The landscape plan shows hardscape encroachment into the drainage easement as well, which has been reviewed and approved by the Public Works Department. This item is scheduled for a public hearing this evening. The petition has been properly noticed and advertised, and the department has received one public comment, which just received and handed to members of current. Would you like me to read that out loud now, or get to you?
Do Dave and Janine have it in front of them?
I only got a paper copy, I was not able to send them.
So why don't you go ahead and read it? It's quick.
Dear City Westfield, this is by Jennifer Martin at 16212 Flowing Creek Way, Westfield, Indiana 46074. I am writing this letter on the request of Clark and Kyra Byram in regard to their plans of installing a swimming pool. We are very excited for them to put in this pool. It is more difficult these days to go to a public pool due to COVID, so this is going to be such a fantastic option for them. We live across the street from them, so we know the neighborhood. We are excited that they have the opportunity to install a pool and think it would be a wonderful addition for them. Please contact me if you have any further questions or need for additional comments. Sincerely, Jennifer Martin. If the board is inclined to approve the variance development standard, then the department report includes recommended findings of fact and conditions. Representative Daniel Majestic of Perma Pools is present and is able to answer questions, and I am available for questions for staff.
Dave and Janine, were you able to hear that letter that was read into the record?
Yes, thank you very much.
Good.
Yes,
All right.
I was, thank you.
Okay. So any questions or comments for staff? I'll start with Dave. Anything?
No, nothing initially, just wait for public hearing to be fine.
All right, Janine?
No, not at this time, thank you.
Victor? No?
Thank you.
All right, then I will go ahead and open the public hearing at 7:09. You have any cards? Or any indication of anyone? Okay.
No cards and no emails yet, so we'll wait a minute.
All right. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak to this item? All right, seeing none, we will wait a moment to see if we get anything via email. Seeing none, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing at 7:10. Any questions or comments now at this point from you, Dave?
Yeah, I guess I would ask the petitioner, it appears to me when I look at the location map, there's nothing presently constructed behind this property, but I assume that's areas that would be platted in that same subdivision, and it would be someone's backyard. I'm curious, the site plan doesn't show any landscaping, so I take it back, there's a landscape plan here.
Hold on, is that on?
We have a landscape plan, it's on one.
Okay, I do see some landscaping, a landscape plan. Perhaps, Dane, though, if you could address behind the property, that is still is that undeveloped ground that's going to be, that will be the subject of a future plat in the same subdivision? I forget the layout of that subdivision.
Dave, can you speak a little bit closer to your mic on your computer or on your phone? We're having a hard time hearing you. I think we got the gist of it. We're trying to figure out if there is developed land behind this property or any in the future.
That's correct.
All right, the petitioner is coming forward and is going to answer the question for us.
Sir, do you swear or affirm to give truthful testimony?
Is that mic on, guys?
Is the light green? If not, push it. There you go.
Okay, my name is Clark Byram, and I live at this address. And directly behind it is actually floodplain. So that's Little Eagle Creek floodplain. So that's floodplain for about 250 feet directly behind us.
Is that your property or the property behind you? I mean, the floodplain is not on your property?
No.
Okay. Does that resolve your question, Dave?
Yes, it does. Sounds like there won't be housing back there, so that mitigates the whole issue. Thank you.
Yep. Janine, anything?
No, that was a good question, Dave. Thank you.
Victor, anything?
Looks good to me.
All right. I will then entertain a motion.
I will make a motion to approve 2011-VS-34, 2753 Maple Creek Drive with the following conditions. Approval shall only be valid for the pool noted on the site plan. And 2, construction shall be substantially compliant with the site plan, Exhibit 3, and the landscape plan, Exhibit 4.
Second.
Thank you, Dave. We have a motion to approve by Victor McCarty and a second by Dave Schmitz. Pull the board, please.
Mr. Kingshill,
Yes.
Mr. Schmitz,
Yes.
Mr. McCarty,
Yes.
Ms. Fortier.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. And I will make a motion to adopt the staff's findings of fact.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you. So we've got a second by Dave Schmitz. All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. And the findings of fact, that motion is carried. Thank you. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is 2011-VS-35, 19501 Ethan Allen Lane. Mr. Crabtree.
Good evening, members of the board. For the record, Dane Crabtree with the Community Development Department. The item before you this evening is a variance of development standard request pertaining to the property at 19501 Ethan Allen Lane in the Morgan Woods subdivision. The Morgan Woods subdivision was laid out in 2 sections. The first section was recorded in 1972 and the second in 1976. Both sections were platted prior to zoning being established. The entirety of the subdivision remains zoned AGSF1 agriculture single-family rural despite none of the lots within Morgan Woods adhering to current AGSF1 standards. Therefore, all lots within the Morgan Woods subdivision are considered legal nonconforming. A single-family residence was originally built on the property between 1974 and 1976. No building permit was found, but the aforementioned was confirmed based on historic aerial photographs. A fire destroyed the prior residence on November 29, 2011. The remnants of the prior residence were demolished soon after, and the property has been vacant since at least 2013. Section 9.4C of the UDO states that legal nonconforming lots not located within the geographic area identified as downtown may be used as permitted by the zoning district in which the lot is located and built upon only if the lot and improvements otherwise comply with all other standards of the ordinance and provided that the property owner does not own in whole or in part sufficient adjacent land to enable the parcel to conform to the dimensional and acreage requirements of this ordinance. The lot width is no less than 100 feet, and the lot area is no less than 1 acre. Because the property is 1/2 acre in size, the variance is necessary. The petitioner requests a variance of development standard to permit residential development on this legal nonconforming property. Officially, the request would be that the entirety of Section 9.4C of the UDO not apply to the property, as the property is not only less than 1 acre in size, but there are several additional aspects of the property that do not conform with AGSF 1 standards. A condition that the development be residential in nature has been suggested. This item is scheduled for a public hearing this evening. It has been properly noticed and advertised. The department has received no comments. Carla Garino of Webster and Garino is present this evening. She does not plan to make a presentation on behalf of the petitioner, but is available if there are any questions. If the board is inclined to approve the proposed variance, the staff report proposes recommended findings of fact and 2 conditions.
Thank you. I'll go ahead and open up the public hearing, I think, rather than asking for questions or comments at this point. Opening the public hearing at 7:17. Do we have any cards or any? Nope.
No one has come forth
All right.
to sign the sheet, and we have not received any emails yet. So.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak to this matter? All right, seeing none, we'll wait a minute to see if we get anything coming in online. Seeing none, I'm going to close the public hearing at 7:18. All right, any questions or comments? We'll start with you, Dave.
I guess just maybe for staff, my understanding is the only reason this is necessary is basically because the house burned down. Had it not, and if the house continued on the site, it would just be legal non-conforming with no need for anything until that landowner, I guess, would have needed something from the community development department. Given that it burned down now to construct, this variance is necessary. Does this cover, I guess, is it by virtue of taking out 9.4C, does that give you specific or ascertainable development standards for construction of a house, setbacks and lot width and all the stuff that you would need? Or does it, I guess, wipe out all those requirements? Or how does it stand going forward?
Well, yeah, I guess to succinctly answer the question, Dave, the 9.4C of the UDOs, one of the caveats of that is that it can continue to be built upon only if the lot and improvements otherwise comply with all other standards of the ordinance. Under normal circumstances, if this were zoned SF2, 3, 4, something of that nature, it probably wouldn't be that big of a deal, but because it's zoned AGSF1 and there's a significant amount of restrictions based on that, that's why we're suggesting to go ahead and say that doesn't apply at all, with the condition that it be residential in nature, which would cover any differences that would otherwise, be there. So.
And then, are you just going to draw setback?
Yeah, all of
basically compatible with other houses in the neighborhood?
Yeah, that's correct. Like the proposed site plan that you're seeing right now actually complies with all of the setbacks, including the current AGSF1 requirements. So no other variances are necessary, but that's also a reason we didn't necessarily feel it was I guess, necessary to have the site plan or elevations tied to this, because everything that's currently proposed would otherwise comply.
Okay, I got it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's all for me.
Janine, any comments or questions?
No, thank you very much.
Victor's good, and I'm good. All right, so at this point, I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve 2011-VS-35, 19501 Ethan Allen Lane, with the two following recommended conditions. The only development permitted on the property shall be single-family residential, and the development that could be constructed as accessory to a single-family residential use. And the petitioner shall record acknowledgement of this approval with the Hamilton County Recorder's Office and return a copy of the recorded instrument to the Economic and Community Development Department.
And I will second. This is Janine.
Thank you. We have a motion to approve by Victor McCarty, second by Janine Fortier. Please poll the board.
Mr. Schmitz,
Yes.
Mr. McCarty,
Yes.
Ms. Fortier,
Yes.
Mr. Kingshill.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, and I will make a motion to adopt the staff's findings of fact.
And I'll second.
Thank you. We've got a motion by myself, second by Janine Fortier. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. The motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to our next item. 2011-VS-36, 540 North Union Street.
Thank you, President.
Mr. Ernest.
Thank you. Members of the board, for the record, Caleb Ernest with the Community Development Department. Property is zoned SF3, Single Family Medium Density District, and is located at 450 North Union Street. The surrounding properties to the north, east, and south are also zoned the SF3 district. And the properties to the west are zoned the SF3 and the Junction North PUD district. The petitioner is requesting a variance of development standard to encroach 5 feet into the 10-foot side yard setback for the purposes of constructing a new garage addition. This item does require a public hearing tonight and has been properly noticed and advertised. Staff has not received any public comments. Justin Hayes and Matthew Skelton of Church, Hiddle, and Antrim are here tonight. They plan on making a brief presentation, and both they and I are available for questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, members of the board. Good evening, members of the board. My name is Justin Hayes, and I'm with the law firm of Church, Hiddle, and Antrim, with offices here at 116th North Union Street. I represent the applicants Edwin and Jennifer Skelton. Ed is here with us tonight. Ed and Jennifer Skelton live at 540 North Union Street and have lived there for approximately 15 years. And after 15 or so years, they've planned certain improvements to their property and to their home. These include a secondary entryway, a screen-in porch, and a 3-car garage that has a rear side-load garage. To make these improvements, the Skeltons are requesting a variance of the minimum side yard setback from 10 feet to 5 feet in order to safely and conveniently maneuver in their driveway to get safely in and out of their garage. The Skeltons have engaged Student Impact of Westfield, their neighbors, in this process, and they have a good relationship with Student Impact of Westfield. And to close, I would just thank you for your time and would appreciate your favorable consideration of this variance request, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
So Student Impact has no objection,
No objections.
and we received no other objections from any neighbors?
That is correct.
Thank you. Any questions or comments for the petitioner? Dave?
None from me, thank you.
Janine?
No, thank you.
Victor's good. And I'm good. So we will go ahead and open the public hearing at 7:25. Do we have anything?
Nothing.
Looks like nothing so far. Is there anyone in the audience tonight that wishes to speak to this matter? Seeing none, we will wait. Just a moment. With nothing coming in, I'll close the public hearing at 7:26. All right. No more questions, I would imagine, at this point, so I will entertain a motion.
This is Janine. I'll make a motion to approve 2011 VS 36, 540 North Union Street. Excuse me, with one condition, that the petitioner shall record an acknowledgement of this approval with the Hamilton County Recorder's Office and return a copy of the recorded instrument to the Community Development Department.
I'll second.
Thank you. We have a motion to approve by Janine Fortier and a second by Victor McCarty. Please poll the board.
Mr. Schmitz?
Yes.
Mr. McCarty?
Yes.
Ms. Fortier?
Yes.
Mr. Kingshill?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I will go ahead and make the motion to adopt the staff's findings of fact. Do I hear a second?
I'll second that, Schmitz.
Thank you. So motion by myself, second by Dave Schmitz. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Hearing none, motion carries. Thank you. All right. Last item on the agenda is item number 2011-VS-38, 15702 Hidden Oaks Court. Mr. Harris.
Good evening, members of the board. For the record, I am Corey Harris with the Community Development Department. The item before you is a variance development standard that requests to allow a rear yard encroachment of a swimming pool by 25 feet into the 55-foot setback. The plans have received HOA approval. This item is scheduled for its public hearing this evening. The petition has been properly noticed and advertised, and the department has received several public comments which have been provided to you. I am unable to send them through email currently, so I was not able to get Janine and Dave those comments.
We will not read them all into the record tonight because there are 13 emails, but they are all positive emails, very much like the last time we saw
Yes.
a similar one, just for Dave and Janine's edification.
If the board is inclined to approve the variance of development standard, the representative has proposed findings of fact and conditions which is included in the staff report at the end. The representative, John Dobashewitz of Nelson Frankenberger, is planning on making a presentation this evening, and I am available for questions for staff.
Thank you. Mr. Dobashewitz.
Is it okay if I? Thank you. Good evening. For the record, my name is John Dobashewitz. I'm a land use professional with the law firm of Nelson and Frankenberger. We represent the petitioner. Present tonight is Pat McElvenna. Pat and his wife Beth are the owners, and Jim Schinner, an attorney with our office. By way of general background, a swimming pool is permitted on single-family lots in Bridgewater. In this regard, the applicant seeks approval to allow the reduction of the rear yard setback due to the positioning of the swimming pool, which partially encroaches into the rear yard setback. The subject property is located as outlined in yellow on the exhibit on display. The property has a common address of 15702 Hidden Oaks Court and is located on the west side of Hidden Oaks Court with the rear yard along the golf course separated from the nearest residence to the west by some 700 plus feet. I better use this to help the other boards at home if they can see this exhibit on display. So the McElvenna residence is located here on Hidden Oaks Court. The 700-plus feet I was referring to is across the two holes of the golf course here to the other residences further removed to the west.
John, let's confirm with them that they can see it. All right, Dave and Janine, are you seeing this?
Yes, thank you very much.
All right.
Great, thank you.
I'm not, my connection isn't working right on I'm communicating by phone, so, but I'm familiar with the sites and looking at it on the aerial, so that's fine.
Understood, thank you. If we can advance to the next slide here. Stop there. The subject property, again, we prepared an exhibit and submitted this for review by the board, which was included as an attachment and a link on your agenda to help provide the context of the existing conditions in the proposed pool location. This is a site aerial with the position of the pool superimposed over the site aerial. The exhibit on the north shows and highlighted in yellow the rear yard setback. As you can see, the proposed setback is 30 feet. That setback would only apply to the hardscape and pool proposed, and that pool shown in blue here on the exhibit. This is identical to the exhibit on top is identical to the illustration that is shown here. The site plan, which was submitted for consideration and included in your application, shows the landscaping and hardscaping and screening otherwise not required, which will have a positive impact on the area adjacent to the property and benefit abutting neighbors and patrons of the golf course as well. To help orient the board, this exhibit, again, if I scroll back, the position of the home is from east to west, with the western portion of the lot, which is the rear yard, adjacent to the golf course. So when we jump to this exhibit, up is actually to the west. So the golf course is along this perimeter of the site with homes on the south and on the north of the lot. Some additional exhibits, I can see if we can blow that up. Some additional exhibits that the petitioner provided help illustrate the location and juxtaposition of the pool in relation to the rear yard. This exhibit here that I'm circling for the benefit of the board and those at home is an aerial which looks directly down at the pool. This middle slide or illustration is looking from kind of a bird's eye perspective, looking southeast. The home to the south would be located here. The home to the north kind of standing in their backyard. This helps illustrate the additional landscaping that's being provided on the site. This bottom illustration is of someone standing on the golf course looking east into the rear yard. There, as you'll recall from the site plan or site aerial, there's a pond and a cart path in the foreground here that's illustrated on that aerial exhibit. Again, just some additional exhibits to help give you an idea of the proposed landscaping and position of the pool in relation to the home. In addition to this, we've provided some photographs. This home to the south, the residents to the south of the McElvennas, they have a pool currently. This is a pool house which was constructed in their rear yard just immediately to the south. That's an item that the board would have seen previously as a variance request. This is just a view of the rear of the home. This would be as a position of someone were standing in the location of the proposed pool looking directly at the house. Here again, standing in the location of the pool looking north. The pond I was talking about and further removed from that pond is a path. This looks directly to the west. The pond and the cart path is beyond that. This tree is in the rear yard, kind of separates the lot from the golf course. And looking northwest from the site, looking south west from the site, this trampoline is on the corner of the subject lot. There's another trampoline you can see in the background that's on the adjacent owner's lot to the south. And again, standing on the cart path, looking directly at the back of the home across that pond. Just again, give you an idea of the red dot we position here to give you an idea of the position of the pool on the lot itself. Staff is distributing or has distributed an exhibit, and I understand that there's 2 board members at home, so they can't see this, but let me roll back to the site location exhibit, which will help you out. We recall that the board suggested additional outreach as they directed a couple prior applicants, and Pat took this to heart by reaching out personally to everyone who also received notice of the public hearing this evening, providing additional information and soliciting feedback. And that was one of the items that Mr. Kingsiller referred to, that 20 some odd pages, 13 individuals responded. As a result of this additional outreach, numerous communications have been submitted to the board from surrounding neighbors, all but 2 of the owners who responded, and all those who did respond are in support of the request. So if you look at this exhibit that Mr. Kingshill and Mr. McCarty have in front of them, all the folks here on the cul-de-sac responded favorably, including the adjacent owner to Mecklenvena to the south, and the one additional individual to the south here who also received notice, they didn't respond to the notice of public hearing or the additional outreach. And the 3 lots up here, clear on the north side and pretty far removed, but again included in our notice radius. 2 of those owners of the 3, one here and one here, the middle one did not respond, but those other 2 additional owners did respond and respond favorably to the request, and that's the information that's in front of the board for consideration in addition to 2 items. One communication in particular was from Mike Deck, a realtor and resident in Bridgewater. He lives over on Bridgewater Boulevard, just off the map to the east. Mike, in his communication to the board, had indicated that he's sold over 300 homes in the neighborhood. He indicated also that having a pool does not decrease the value of any homes in the neighborhood, and he stated that in the past year, homes have actually very much appreciated the value of those homes. And he also notes that subject to the buffering and additional landscaping, which is included, it should be a good addition to the area. There's also communication from Dave Mennel of the Bridgewater Club. I see Dave's in the audience this evening, wherein Mr. Mennel describes the role and process of the Bridgewater Architectural Review Board as it relates to landscaping and working with the owner of the site on their site plan, and the support of the Bridgewater Club as an adjoining owner of the golf course property, which is all surrounding the homes on either side of Hidden Oaks Drive. In conclusion, and to wrap up the presentation, I'd like to review the 2 proposed conditions recommended by staff, as well as the findings of fact. Those are all included in your staff report, so I won't go into detail on reviewing or reading the findings of fact. But the 2 conditions, as recommended by staff and provided by the applicant, are as follows. That the variance is applicable to the swimming pool and hardscape as generally illustrated on the site plan. The swimming pool shall be installed in general conformance with the site plan as determined by the Director of Westfield Department of Community Development, and that the landscaping and screening be provided at a minimum as generally illustrated on the site plan that's been submitted for your consideration. These conditions and limitations relating to the character, location, landscaping, and screening of the subject pool are all included in the request to prevent any potential adverse effects upon adjacent properties and improvements in the vicinity of the subject lot. Likewise, the findings of fact which support the granting of the variance request have been provided by the applicant and are included within your staff report. With that, I'll conclude. Be glad to address any questions the board may have at this time or at the conclusion of the public hearing, and would respectfully request your approval of the variance at the conclusion of your deliberation. Thank you.
Did you receive any negative communication from any of the neighbors?
No, sir.
And staff, we received no negative comments?
No.
Nothing other than what we have in front of us?
Correct.
Thank you.
Just to be clear, when you said other than what you have in front of you, I don't recall that there's any negative communication in front of the...
I meant other communication than what we have in front of us.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. All right, thank you. Any questions or comments at this time for the petitioner? Dave?
None for me, thank you.
Janine?
Thank you very much for a very thorough introduction to this. I really appreciate that, but I have no questions. Thank you.
I'll just echo, thank you for your appreciation to detail.
All right, then, I will go ahead and open the public hearing at 7:40. Have we received any indication of anyone wanting to speak?
We have no emails, and I don't see anyone coming forward
Okay.
to speak.
Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak to this matter? Seeing no response, we'll wait another moment to see if anything comes in online. All right, nothing coming forward, so I will close the public hearing at 7:41. All right, entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve 2011-VS-38 15702 Hidden Oaks Court with the following two conditions. Number one, that the variance is applicable to the swimming pool and hardscape as generally illustrated on the site plan. The swimming pool shall be installed in general conformance with the site plan as determined by the Director of Westfield Department of Community Development. And number two, the landscaping and screening be provided at a minimum as generally illustrated on the site plan.
Thank you.
This is Janine, I'll second.
Thank you. We have a motion to approve by Victor McCarty, at the second by Janine Fortier. Could you please poll the board?
Mr. McCarty?
Yes.
Ms. Fortier?
Yes.
Mr. Kingshill?
Yes.
Mr. Schmitz?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, and I will make the motion to approve the staff's findings of fact as supplemented by the petitioner.
And I'll
The
second.
one and the
This is
same.
Janine.
Thank you. So I made the motion, Janine seconded it. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much for your time this evening.
Thank you. And with that, we have no further items on our agenda, so I entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn. This is Janine.
Thank you, Janine, and I'll second it. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
All right, we're done.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dan.
We'll see you next
Aye.
time.
Move right through.
Yep. That's because I get, when I run the meeting, I muzzle myself. I don't end up, because I'm just like worried about running the meeting, right? And so
Maybe we should do that more often.
I think I'm the one maybe that